I realize now that I filmed this entire video with the microphone pointing the wrong direction. I'm hoping the sound will still be... Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. A bit of a new background, what do we think? There have been some changes. By the time this video goes up, I'm not certain if you will have already seen the video where I built this new bookcase and reorganized my bookshelves, or perhaps it will be the video after this one, I don't know yet. Here's a teaser. Welcome to my August TBR. In August, the main thing that is happening is that I plan on participating in the Tropical Readathon, one of my absolute favorite readathons. I will leave the link to the information about the readathon down below, but basically it's a readathon with prompts inspired by typical bookish tropes. But in case you don't find books that match the tropes, there are alternative prompts that you can go for instead. I'm joining Team Non-Fiction Poetry this year. There are teams based on different genres, and the reason I picked this one is because of the team prompts. I thought that they fitted what I wish to read in August the most, so yay! So without any further ado, I guess I'm gonna be here and talk about the books I plan on reading in August. A bit of a disclaimer is that I'm gonna have some reads that will roll over into August from July, and that is mainly because at the start of August the Olympics-a-thon will be continuing. So the Olympics-a-thon is a readathon that I'm hosting that started in July but will go on until the end of the actual Olympic Games. I have started a bunch of books for that one, unfortunately not yet finished any, so I thought I would just mention them quickly, but if you want to know more about the books that I'm currently reading and what prompts they work for, I will link my Olympics-a-thon TBR somewhere. But the books that will be rolling over are Factfulness by Hans Rosling, One Piece, the Omnibus Edition, so volume 1, 2, 3. I also have two audiobooks. One is A Magical Girl Retires, and the second one is What I Talk About When I Talk About Running. So those four are rolling over the Tropical Readathon. I believe there are a total of like 15 prompts that you can do. I'm not gonna aim for all of them. I'm not even gonna mention books for all of them this time. I've done that previous years, but it's not realistic for me to read 15 books in August. I'm just gonna mention the ones that I feel like I have something planned for and something that I'm excited about to read. So as I mentioned, I will be in Team Non-Fiction Poetry, so let's start with the team prompts. The first team prompt is read a book with the revolution trope. What's great with the Tropical Readathon is they provide you with recommendations for books. And this time around I actually saw a recommendation for a book that I have been meaning to reread, and that is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. So my friend has kindly borrowed me her entire The Hunger Games series, the trilogy. I've only read once, and I believe I read them for the first time when I was like 14 or something like that. And since watching the newest movie, and also seeing the announcements for Suzanne Collins' new book and upcoming movie and all of that, I've had this feeling of wanting to reread The Hunger Games. So that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm very excited about that. Dystopia, a bit of a revolution, perhaps not that major of one in this first book, but it definitely builds up to quite a revolution by the end of the series. The second team prompt is read a book with the behind the scenes trope. I feel like this pick should work, I'm not certain, because it depends on how you define behind the scenes, I guess. I'm gonna say that a detailed biography should work for a behind the scenes type of book. And the book I hope to read is Last Train to Memphis, The Rise of Elvis Presley by Peter Guralnick. Now, about 2 years ago, I made a video where I read a lot of books about Elvis Presley and also books that he read. I will link that video somewhere as well. Really enjoyed that experience. It was when I really started to dip my toes into reading memoirs, biographies, that type of thing as well. And since then, I have had my eye on this book. I have wanted to read this one, because I think this is like a two-part biography, so this is only the first part. I believe it should focus more on like his music, his career, things like that, because the previous ones I read and listened to have been about people's relationship to him, which is super interesting as well. I wanted something with a bit more focus on the music, his career, similar, and I've heard good things about this one, so I finally bit the bullet and picked this one up. Not certain if I actually will be able to get to this and finish it within the month of August, because it is 550 pages. The text is quite texty, although there are some photos in it, which is nice. Let's now talk about the general prompts, the ones that are for everyone. For some of these I've gone for the trope prompts, and for some of them I focus more on the alternative prompts, and that is just because since I've been slumping so much this year, I want to make sure I'm reading things that I actually want to read right now and not forcing myself to pick something up that I'm not really interested in. And most of these books that I will talk about I've been meaning to get to, so it was more the case of making the prompts work for me than adapting myself to the prompts, if that makes sense. One of the prompts is to read a book with bookish themes, and I feel like the perfect book for this one is Bookshots and Bone Dust by Travis Baldree. This is like a prequel to Legends and Lattes. These books are basically cozy fantasy. High fantasy, low stakes is the pitch for at least Legends and Lattes, so probably this one as well. And in the series we are following an orc named Viv, who used to be like a fighter and be in battles and all of that. In this book she is packed off against her will to recuperate in the sleepy beach town of Merk. And she spends her time in a bookshop, apparently. I don't need anything more. A high fantasy setting, but just cozy vibes. Another trope on the prompts board is satire, and for this one I'm going for Come and Get It by Kylie Reid. This is a library book, so I had to squeeze it in because otherwise I will have to return it in case I don't read it in August. Now, Kylie Reid is the author of the book Such a Fun Age, which I read very early on when I started BookTube, so a bit nostalgic about that, and I really enjoyed that one. I think this one will have similar vibes. It's her newest release. It was released this year, I think, in like January or February, so I've been meaning to get to it because I enjoyed Such a Fun Age so much. But I feel like the reviews on this one are not as good as they were for her debut. It doesn't actually say anywhere on the book, in like the blurbs or the description, that it's a satire, but I've seen in some of the reviews and descriptions of this book online that people have used the word satire. So I'm going with this one for satire. I think it's about, what is it? It's about the story is about a residential assistant and her messy entanglement with a professor and 3 unruly students. A fresh and intimate portrait of desire, consumption and reckless abandon. I actually don't know, but it's gonna be interesting at least. It's gonna be interesting, and I'm putting it on the TBR. For the next book I am going with one of the alternative prompts, which is takes place in another country. Very diffuse, could be literally anything. But I'm going with one that I think is pretty fitting, and the book I plan on reading is One Last Shot by Betty Coyette. And the thing about this book is that it takes place in Italy, in Cinque Terre? Is that how you say it? I'm saying the same thing. And the fun thing with that is I'm actually going there for a holiday now in August. So I'm going to Cinque Terre, and my hope is to read this book while I am in Cinque Terre. And that is gonna be so much fun. So like, I saw the opportunity and I took it. I didn't even need to know what this book was about, other than the fact that it takes place in Cinque Terre. But if we were to look at what the book is about, it's about a supermodel who has a seemingly perfect life, but she's tired of looking for love. When a reminder for the marriage pact she and her former best friend Theo made as teens goes off on her phone, she realizes she has a chance to rekindle the only relationship that had ever really made sense. Emerson convinces her grumpy agent to book her as the face of the campaign that Theo, now a fashion photographer, is shooting. The good news, the campaign is being shot in ridiculously romantic Cinque Terre, Italy. The bad news, Theo might not be as happy to see Emerson as she had hoped. Friends to lovers, marriage pact, holiday romance, celebrity romance. Yeah, I think this is gonna be the perfect read for when I am in Italy. Oh my god, it's so perfect. It aligns perfectly. Yes! I have a feeling that it's gonna be a quick and fun read. The next trope is mixed media, and for this one I plan on reading The Twyford Code by Janice Hallett. Is this my first time not putting an Illuminate book on a tropical readathon TBR? It might very well be, actually. I read The Mysterious Case of the Appleton Angels and also The Appeal, one I loved, one I got really bored by. These are basically mysteries told through chat logs, emails, documentations, things like that. Edith Twyford was once a world-famous children's author, but now her only legacy is the rumored existence of the Twyford Code, a series of clues hidden in her books leading to what? No one knows, but that hasn't stopped the speculation. Steve Smith can trace nearly all the bad things in his life back to Edith Twyford. As a child, he found one of her books covered in strange symbols. He showed it to his teacher, who was convinced it held the key to the code. Within weeks, his teacher had disappeared, and Steve has no idea if she is dead or alive, or if she was right. Now he's determined to find out. The reason I want to read this one in August mainly is that I want to bring it with me when I go on my holiday, because last year when I went on a holiday together with my mom, we went to Croatia, and that's when I read The Mysterious Case of the Alberton Angels. I thought it would feel nice to read another Janice Hallett book while on holiday with my mom. I just like the idea of that. For the next book, I'm going with the alternative prompt, which is to read a book with a TV/movie adaptation. And for this one, I hope to pick up It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. This one is getting a movie adaptation, like very soon, like in August I think. And I really want to read the book before I see the movie. I've only ever read one Colleen Hoover book before. I read Verity. I actually quite like that one. I know there's a lot of mixed opinions about Colleen Hoover, and honestly I don't care. This was super hyped like a couple of years ago, so I kind of want to see what the hype was about. I'm curious about the plot of this book because I actually don't know anything. And there's too much text on the back for me to even bother to figure it out. And then the last book on this very hopeful and speculative TBR. For this one I'm going for the alternative prompt, a book in a series. And I have been meaning to read this one this summer. The book I'm talking about is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I still have not read Fourth Wing. I've been meaning to, I've been eyeing it. I've had this book for, what could it be? Like a year soon? I have had every intention to pick this one up, but I haven't gotten there. It is in a series. I don't know how many books there will be, but there is a sequel out already, and I think the third one is announced. I want to see what the hype is, okay? I'm very intrigued to see what got everyone so insanely obsessed with Fourth Wing. If you just like me, don't really know, it's a fantasy romance, and we're following 20-year-old Violet, who was supposed to enter the scribe quadrant, living a quiet life among books and history. Now the commanding general, her tough-ass Talon's mother, has ordered Violet to join the hundreds of candidates striving to become the elite of Navarre dragon riders. So it's about her entering this either like school or contest to become a dragon rider, graduate or die. Actually, a final book I need to add that I had forgotten about when planning my August TBR. That is the book I'm reading with my real life book club that I have with my friends. And for August, or for July and August, but until our next meet, we need to have read The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I have already purchased this one as an ebook, I have it on my Kobo. I just need to figure out if I can make it work with any prompts in the Tropical Readathon, because that would be awesome. This is a romance between a character who lives in our present time and a character who lives in the past, I think. I'm guessing they are 7 years apart. I know this was a very popular book, so hopefully it will deliver as well. So here we have the stack for my August TBR and the Tropical Readathon. And as mentioned, on top of this, I really need to read the 7-Year Slip, and I am also continuing with my Olympics-a-thon TBR. So didn't plan that too well, because none of these books are on my Olympics-a-thon TBR, but maybe I can make it work, we're gonna see. I am excited about this one. As I said, I'm going on holiday as well, so I'm hoping to get some reading done there, at least bring 2 books and my e-reader maybe, could be nice. These are books I've been eyeing for a long time, books I've wanted to read for a really long time. Not only have I filmed with the microphone pointing in the wrong direction, I just dropped all of my books. That was it for this video. A total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books on my physical TBR, plus an ebook, plus the 4 books or more that are rolling over from July. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed. Please take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye!
You gotta just go for it. Don't think about what comes after.